You are looking live at a daily chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is kind of rare for me to start off with this, but just acknowledging the strength here. Welcome to my daily review. It's Tuesday, July 16th, and you can see the Dow here had made a run at 40,000, then got rejected, made another run, it got past it for a day or two, then got rejected again, and now it's just really blasted through it and closed the session today at 40,954. So, they're wearing their 40,000 Dow hats this week on Wall Street. Anyway, I'm just acknowledging strength. It was United Healthcare was one of the stocks that helped. They had earnings report this morning and blasted 6% higher. Boeing looks like it's trying to make a bottom here, and this was up 3 something%. So just some of the it wasn't Apple and Microsoft. It was some of the more industrial type names. And anyway, I've got to get to the Russell 2000 because this thing has blasted higher following the data, the PPI data from last Thursday. So it had 3 days or no Thursday, Friday, Monday, or was it Wednesday with CPI data? Anyway, the yields went lower, and so there's more of a anticipation of a rate cut. So the rate sensitive stocks really took off, and we had a Whaley thrust today, which is pretty rare. I think it's only happened about 14 times in history. So these stocks are extremely strong. I've got to go to TNA because this is the 3 times leverage. And I said last week, if it got above 44, I'm interested. So I had to get long on this one. It's working out for me. If you just look at the weekly, um, you can see why I wanted it above 44 here because it kept, it's been there many, many times. And this time it finally got through, right? I mean, it just goes way back. And finally got through the 44 level. So, and now it's at 49, but it's up 16.5% this week. So it's had a heck of a run, and it's only been 2 days. So, the Whaley thrust, as I mentioned that it's rare, and it just a really bullish indication and a very reliable indicator that we're going to go higher, at least on the S&P, in the coming weeks and probably months. So anyway, since I mentioned the S&P 500, I've got to go there. This is a weekly chart. You can see it's up almost 1% this week, but just in a power trend, a lot like the Nasdaq. But this one made a new high today, where the Nasdaq didn't. And MDY is the small cap index here, and this one's breaking out much like the TNA, the Russell. So the small and the mid cap stocks are outperforming now. There's a rotation out of the mega cap tech stocks, which I'm going to get to in a minute. And you don't need to sell much of $3 trillion dollar stocks to make an impact on these little guys. So that's what's happening. I'm going to get to the Nasdaq here. Nasdaq looked good to me because it made this high, and now it's just kind of going sideways, allowing the moving averages to catch up. It was up 36 points or 0.2% today, which still is, it's up. It closed at 18,509. Volume was decent, but this is what I'm talking about here on the Nasdaq, where it made this high. If I can get the track price here, I'm sorry for toggling around like this. I know it bugs people's vision. On the 10th, it made that high of 18,655. Then it came the next day and 671 reversed lower. That was Thursday. And then Friday had an inside day yesterday, which was a Monday. Couldn't take out. It tried to in the morning, couldn't take it out, pulled back, and now it's just kind of going sideways. That is really positive action for the Nasdaq. A lot of the mega cap tech stocks are stalling ahead of earnings, which is a good thing because you don't want to making all-time highs going into earnings, and then it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Although Apple's not listening here, I don't know. The market surge is messed up after hours. It says it was down today, 72 cents. So, but it's got a blue bar, so it doesn't matter. It closed at 233, and you can see it made this move, and now it's starting to stall a little bit like the index, the Nasdaq. Microsoft, to me, yeah, it sliced its 21, but earnings are coming up, and this thing's going to move with earnings and sales, and the moving averages are going to. I always pay attention to the moving averages, and it's below the 21. It could certainly, sell off with earnings, but with strong earnings, which I suspect they will show, it could also trade to new highs. So it's I wouldn't worry too much about Microsoft. It's all about the earnings right now, and selling off into earnings is a positive. Google down to the 21 today. They reported the 23rd. So this is just fine. Amazon had an upgrade today. Didn't do much, but once again, they report next week, so let it come in, let them pull back to moving averages and old buy points here. That looks fantastic to me. And with strong earnings reports, these things could certainly blast off. Meta down to the 50, no great shakes. I mean, no big deal. Had trouble with the 500, but if they report stellar earnings, they could do the opposite of what they did last time. When it sold off, gazillion points, 52 points or 11%. So, yeah, it's all about the earnings, folks. So these moves before earnings, don't want to get too excited if they're below moving averages because they're going to blast right through them on strong earnings. Tesla was up slightly today, getting support at the 10. Nothing wrong with that. And NVIDIA, they don't report for a while. Just, trading sideways. And I know some people in NVIDIA and it's driving them crazy because it's not going up every day like it was. It made the high at 140, pulled back to the 21, and now it's just surfing the 21, doing nothing wrong. There's nothing abnormal about this. Stocks that make big moves need some time to digest the gains. It's like when you have a big Thanksgiving meal, you sit on the couch, you digest your food, you watch football, then you come back for some pecan pie. Anyway, we're going to have some cappuccino and pecan pie later on with NVIDIA. I know somebody bought some 280 calls in September because, people are expecting a pretty strong earnings report from NVIDIA. All indications are they're just crushing it. So, like I said, I'm not going to get too excited, but since I show you the normal, the semiconductor plays, I thought I'd do something different today. Broadcom had their 10-for-1 split still hanging around, 170. AMD, they report, when is this, next week? Maybe in 2 weeks. What did I say what today was? The 16th, so 2 weeks from today, 14 days. Anyway, just forming a base. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to show you these old tired ones because they're kind of stalling. That actually looks pretty good, little bull wedge action there. But I wanted to get some of these other ones, the smaller ones. They're not really that small, but smaller than what I'm showing you. This is a 22 billion market cap. This is the ENTG. To me, I mean, they're reporting earnings soon, but man, that looks like a nice base. I'm a sucker for a base. I don't like chasing stocks, and I'd like to see this earnings line head north, but man, that looks like a pretty solid base for ENTG. So I'm just pointing that out. It's a strong industry group, and this thing could move before earnings or with earnings. So I just wanted to point that out. AMKR is another one in the semiconductor space. This one already broke out and just romping higher. 11 billion market cap. And now it's just surfing its moving averages after the breakout. So AMKR doing well. And then what did I say? NXPI, which is, I think it's a pretty large one. Yeah, 74 billion market cap. And this one ran up, now formed this little base, found support at the 50. And that one looks good to me as well. May show up on our ready list. I'm not going to get into all the hardware names. If you own these these tech stocks that have been doing well, they're selling these. So that you're just gonna have to be patient with some of this stuff because they're not, they're just selling them short term, and this could change in a day, but for now they're selling them. So if you want to go all in on small caps and mid caps and sell these, that's your, prerogative. If you want to hold on to these large cap tech stocks and, wait for the rotation to come back in, I understand that too. So, but I will say, if you want to take advantage of a move of a mode rotation, you have to be 100% in. You got to jump in the pool. You can't just dip your toes in there. Anyway, I wanted to get to some retail names first before I get to the meat and potatoes. This is going to be a long video today. This is Deckers. sold off with the Nike earnings, and it got like 20% sell off. And I think that it looks to me like a little capitulation selling there. They're going to report next week, and I have a feeling it's going to be pretty darn good. And like I say, these moving averages, they could leave those in the rearview mirror real quick with a strong report. So I wouldn't be surprised. I did mention Nike. Nike did Nike. There's no way I'd buy something like this. You talk about a downtrend. When I go through stocks at night and I'm looking at screens and I just see a chart like that, I just skip to the next one because I'm not interested in stuff like that. But yeah, Nike's fallen on hard times. Anyway, I wanted to spend some time with Elf because people are asking about Elf. What's the matter with Elf? There's nothing wrong with Elf. This is what Elf does. And if you can't handle the volatility, then you should not be in a stock like that. But it's doing the same thing that it did, in previous bases. You can see the base here and then the base here. I'm just going to point out something here. So it's $100 stock, and this is a weekly. It's trading $25. Between the low of 100 and the high of 125. That's 25%, right? And so it's doing this. It's tightened up a little, but it's still $10. So 10% of a $100 stock. There's another $11, and here's a $21, so 20% of a $100 stock. Okay, so the daily range, because people are worried about it getting wide and loose, but it's still, now it's a $200 stock, and so now the spreads are $20, right? That there, right there is 25. Okay, so it's pretty similar. This is the weekly spread that I'm talking about. There's 14 and 11. There's 25. Okay, so that's of a $200 stock. So it's like half. The ratio is in half. If you follow what I'm saying here, there's $22 weekly range. So it's just as tight as it was when it was a $100 stock down here. But now it's a $200 stock. So, the daily range, which was, I don't know, $5, now it's $10. So, I wouldn't worry too much about that. What I'm saying is we knew this thing was going to shake people out. I knew it was going to shake people out because that's what it does. The last time it went here from 153 to 131, which is, more than a 14% move, that shook a lot of people out. It did not slice the 50 though. And this time it is pulled back to the 50, but it's the same 14% move, from peak of was it 219? Was it 219 the other day? Yeah, 219 to what was it, 189. So, it's doing the same thing that it normally does. It would be abnormal if it sliced its 50 with volume. That would chase me out, that would be more than just a handle. But for right now, technically, it just pulled back to its moving average, forming a handle here. This base is a little longer. That one is 14 weeks. This one is 18 weeks, but it's doing the same thing. There was a shakeout day, then a quiet week, and then a shakeout, and then we got the same thing here. A shakeout week, then a quiet week, and now they're really shaking the trees here. You can see it pulling back to the 10-week line. So it's doing the same thing. So I'm holding this stock, and if it slices its moving averages, then I'll sell it, because I could always buy it back if it decides to, ram right through the 50 with earnings, which are coming up in a couple weeks. So to me, I think they're taking market share, like Bros is taking market share from Starbucks. Alpha's taking market share. That note from Ulta was more about Ulta than anything else, and that they're having to be promotional to move product because the consumer wants cheaper items, and that plays right into Elf's hands because they have the low pricing power, and that's what attracts people to Elf. So it takes Wall Street sometimes a little while to figure it out. It might be an earnings call, but you can see Ulta Beauty was up 4% today. I mean, and it was their downgrade. It was their lowered guidance. It was there talking about promotions to move stock. So, I mean, to move supply. So anyway, that's my take on Elf and Ulta and Decker. So I'm going to move on to Carvana. Carvana, we had this on our ready list at 129. It pulled back to the 21, now just broke out. So that's a textbook move there. Once again, the shakeout before the breakout. So, I know people put their stops too tight because they don't want to lose money. I get that. But this thing, that's a textbook bull wedge on that handle there. That looks fantastic. Down to the 21, found support, moved higher. So did I buy it? No. I had it on the ready list. Some people bought it. They contact me during the session and say, Carvana is acting well, and or they got calls on it or whatever. One guy had a 170 call for it was July 26th. So good luck with those. But it's going higher, so he's making money. So anyway, OLLI is another one. It's a retail name. Retail discount variety. Looks good, broke out of this base, formed a little shelf pattern, pulled back, and didn't even come down to the 21. And now it's been up, I don't know, 6 days in a row. OLLI looks fantastic. If you look at that one on the weekly, you can see the breakout, the shelf, and now the move higher. And so good for OLLI. Oh, and then one that I never talk about, I never discuss, but it's a really strong stock. You can see the earnings line heading north here. This is Valvoline, showing the ability to run, consolidate, now starting to run again. So this is a 6 billion market cap, one of those small cap stocks that, gosh, I should have had on the ready list this week. I like them tighter to the moving average, and I like them to pull back a little bit, but sometimes they don't form handles. Sometimes just a cup and go, and this one is gone, bye-bye. So this week it's up 4%, and then it made the move last week, which brought it to my attention of nearly 7%. But yeah, so congrats to the longs there. That looks fantastic, and it's still actionable, but it's extended from its moving averages there at 6%. But if you want to take a swing at it, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, okay, I have to get to the power stocks. The power. We've got the power. AMSC, this is American Superconductor. Man, this electrical power stock is just broken out, ripping higher, surfing its moving averages. That one looks fantastic. What is it? What am I doing here? ENVX, ENVX. I always put an O in there, but this one, this has got kind of a cult-like following. I just acknowledging the strength here. It's still, 24% off its 52-week high, but definitely showing strength, definitely in that small cap, zone that everybody loves since last week. So that one's getting some love. SMR, there's another one. This is a 3.8, nearly a 4 billion market cap. So alternative energy, and this one is just surfing its moving average. This one looks fantastic. Looks like some of those biotech stocks that I've been showing. And the last one is Generac, which is a good looking chart. This is not one of those small cap. It's well, yeah, I guess it is. It's below 10 billion. I just think of it as a bigger company, but you can see this cup pattern, and this could very well show up on our because it's not, doesn't look like it wants to form a handle. It just wants higher prices. So this one could show up on our ready list. Looks very strong. You could see the acute, the move higher, the consolidation, the move higher, the consolidation. Now, if it wants to move higher, hey, I'll go with it, right? I'll take that ride. All right. That's it for the power moves. I mentioned drugs, so I got to get to the drugs. I have a lot of drugs stocks. I said this is going to be a long show. I'm just showing strength there. I'm not going to go through all the particulars with these. This is a 31 billion market cap though, and this one big break out of a base, and looks like a little short stroke pattern now moving higher. This is ALNY. They had positive trial. News ARQT. I'm just showing this one because I like the pattern here. It's showing the ability to move, and now it's consolidating, trading tight within a base above its moving averages. Yeah, I like that one. I just like the chart pattern a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's got some growth numbers there too, doesn't it? So that one I kind of like. DYN, it really ramped higher with news on this day, which was what, May, come on, what day is this, Marty? May 20th, 27%. Pull back to the 10, now it's just, the 21, now it's just riding the moving averages, making new highs. So we like stocks that make new highs. Halo, I've shown this one quite a bit. Just broke out of the base. surfing the moving averages, made a new high today. So there was like, I don't know, 6 pages of new highs, ridiculous. That's why, we had the indicator that went berserk today. So I think it's, time to go all in on these mids and smalls. They look like they want to trade higher. This is a SNDX Pharmaceuticals. Once again, I'm just showing you because of the chart, it ripped straight up from the bottom through the moving averages. And it's just a stock of interest that I think you should have on your watch list. EBS, this one, I wouldn't chase this, but this one looks like it wants to go places, doesn't it? ADMA, the same thing, you can't chase them up here, but they're just going higher, right? And people say, why not? Why not chase them? Why not buy them at, 1370 and sell them at 14? I said, okay, go ahead and do it. It's just so far away from its moving averages here. This one is 11% above its 10. This 25%. I can't justify that. So I've just been burned too many times. And the one that I did buy, the one that I do like is and I did not mention a weight loss drug today, I don't believe. TGTX, this is a multiple sclerosis drug. I went pretty heavy in this one because I like the chart. I know the story. I know these guys can blow up the shorts. There's a lot of shorts in this one. So the CEO gets a nice $16 million bonus incentive if it trades above a 10 billion market cap. Right now it's 3.4 billion. So, and that's by 2026. So, it depends on your time frame. To me, that's not a real long time. I mean, for some people it's an eternity, but I'm retired. I like to golf. If this thing wants to go to 60 and the CEO gets paid, I'm okay with that. All right. Enough with the drugs. I got to move on to, I think I put this on my ready list. I meant to. If I didn't, I'm sorry. I think it's a little extended now, but MOD, and I had it last week or this week. I had it on my chart here. And anyway, it doesn't matter. Modine, making new highs, looks fantastic. LII, this is Dave Lennox company, high-end air conditioners, making new highs. There's, new highs are bullish. This is fixed. This is one that I want to put on too. Why? Because it's shown the ability to move higher. It's consolidated in a base right there at 329 back in March. So that's a long time. That's like 4 months, right? Of just essentially going sideways. Yeah, it went up a little and it went below it, but right now it's just right there. So to me, traded below the 50 or rallied right back through it. It's still consolidating within a base. And that's going to be on my ready list as well, just because I like the chart. And I think if you buy it at 329, it has the ability to power through. Mind you, the earnings, you always have to watch when the earnings are this week, because you don't want to get caught, in a real bad sell-off, which happens with these things. AAON, I wanted to put this one on our ready list as well. I'm not sure if I did. I'm really losing it here. You can see the base here, and why I would like to do that, because it pulled back to its nearly its 21. Now it's up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and it's extended now. So it's adios muchachos. You can't put that one on there. And then Carrier, the spinoff from United Tech, and this one, excuse me, Carrier with a C. This one consolidated in a base. It kind of blew out today, 4%, still actionable, but extended from the moving averages there at more than 6%. So, in a bull market, you can get away with buying stuff that's extended because it goes higher, and you can make some of those mistakes and get away with it. In a sideways market or a bear market, you can't. But in a market like this, you can take a swing at them, and if they go higher and you get lucky, and you can make good money. So don't be afraid to buy strength just because they're extended a little bit. I'm just I'm overly cautious at times, because I've been burned so many times. All right, I got to look at the software names. Don't forget the software names. This is Elastic, and I like the way this is setting up here. Just taking its time. It's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna, make new highs tomorrow, but it's setting up in a base, and I like the way it looks. Datadog was upgraded today. It was up 1%, but still consolidating within a base. much like ESTC. Shopify was upgraded today. Yeah, man, a 9% move. Now it's below its 200. So will it get find some resistance there and get rejected? We're just gonna have to wait and see. If it blasts through there, I'm interested because it has that gap to fill at what 75.30. So that would be a stock of interest to me. Sure, 69 to 75, I'm going to take that. But it needs to really, trade above it tomorrow. So I'm interested in shop as well. And what the last one I was going to show, Zscaler was downgraded today. This is not the last one. Zscaler was downgraded, handled it well, I thought. I like it above 200. It did dip below it a little bit today, big deal. It closed above it, and to me, if it trades sideways along 200 and the moving averages start trading above, this 21 gets above and the 10 is ripping higher, that looks good to me. Zscaler, a couple of the ones I put on my ready list. One was KD. I like this one, and you know why. Made a big move, consolidated in a base, trading tight within the base, supported by the moving averages. That meets the criteria. And then ZETA Global. Now this one, I don't think I did put this on my ready list. I meant to, but it was upgraded yesterday. Responded well to the upgrade, 8% and up another 5% today. So that thing's breaking out of a base, and I've got to look at weekly charts here and different time frame because it's just this week where it really broke out. There you can see the tight consolidation within the base, and I don't know. That's just me. I mean, some people don't, care for that. They want to trade other ways. That's just me. I like that. And it works a lot, especially in this type of market. VERX. Told you it was going to be a long video. So many stocks making new highs today. Just acknowledging that. VERX making a new high. GoDaddy, another one. This one looks kind of actionable here at that one, call it 143. If I wanted to pull back a little bit, I'd take a swing at that one like it did, bounce off its 21 here. And you can see the relative strength line moving through the moving averages. That one looks pretty good too. GoDaddy might show up on the list here pretty quickly. You know what? I'm going to stop there with all of the software. I've got to go to the big banks, because they're looking pretty good. JP Morgan broke out of that base at 205.88. That one looks good. Morgan Stanley reported today. Pull back to the 10 and then bounced higher. So that looks good. And to me, it's still actionable there. 103.25. I mean, if you like the big banks, Morgan Stanley looks pretty good to me. And Bank of America reported as well. And Bank of America, something wrong with my typing. And anyway, it moved up 5%. That's a big move for a bank, 345 billion market cap. So the big banks looking pretty good following their earnings. Obviously, the rates are lower. So, so things are changing in the market and we have to acknowledge it. AROC, going to the oil and gas names. Yeah, gosh, I had like 5 oil and gas stocks that I was going to put on my list. This is one of them I didn't. And you can see why, because it came straight up the bottom, didn't really form a handle. You could say, well, it sold off 2 days in a row and bounced off the 21, which is true, but it's extended now, and I'm not going to chase an oil and gas. A lot of these they trade together. When one's up, they're all up, and one's down, they're all down. This is Venom. This is one that I did put on my radar list because it consolidating within a base. So you can see that here, like 4 or 5 days just going sideways, and now yesterday and today making a move higher. And so that's my weird style. That's all I can say. That's what I like. 3% yesterday and 1% today. So Venom has made a more than a 4% move. Heck, I'll take that all day long. FANG was another one that I had, but I don't think I put it on. That's still actionable right there. That's going on tomorrow. Thank you very much. Why? Because it's consolidating within a base. You can see this 1, 2, 3, 4 day pullback, supported the moving average, came up to the standard buy point. Now today had an inside day. I'd bet dollars to donuts this thing's up tomorrow. Actually, you can't even get a donut for $1 anymore. Shows you how old I am using these old expressions. It's 2024. You need to pay like $5 for a donut. Anyway, let me see. WES. This one, yeah, making new highs. Tidewater's one that I like. I don't think I put it on though, but you can see it was consolidating below the 50, and now it's above the 50, so I like it more. 108.01 would be an area of interest. Weatherford is one that I like as well. This one pulled back to the 20, well, actually, it pulled back to the 50, and man, the last 4 or 5 days powered to new highs. So, don't forget about the oil and gas stocks. Okay, now there's another group that I really like, the electric contract manufacturing group. This is Celestica. I did buy this one. You might say it's a little extended, but I like the 6106. Just like a little shell for, if you will, a little Darvis box pattern here. I like it above the box, above the 6106. So anything above there I like, anything below there, lukewarm. I don't want to see it come back in the box. So that one looks fine to me. My friend Yuri at Sanmina, these are cyclical businesses. And you can see Sanmina finally broke out. This has been a long time coming. I know that the brothers are, they rag on Wall Street from time to time. They don't understand. But the Croatian brothers are doing well here. This one, wow, $74. Wow, good for them. So yeah, made a new high today, I believe. Sanmina, yeah, look at that move. Very nice. Trading tight within the base, pulling back to moving averages, and now blasted last 5 or 6 days in a row. I'm sorry, I missed that one. I should know better. Yep, 4.5%. 4.5% in a week. I'm going to take that every day. I know some stocks go up 10, 15%, but I'm not going to chase the shiny stuff. I'll take 4 or 5%. I'm not a greedy person. All right. Oh, the last one I want to show is FN. This one's in the same group. Electrical contract manufacturing is a top 20 group, so a lot of strong stocks in there. And this one broke out of that, little, I guess you'd call it a Darvis box or shelf type pattern. And, now it's making new highs. It had this little low down here, had the little box there at 257. Once it's above 257, me likey. All right, yeah, you can just finish off the box pattern there. So it's out of the box, I like it. Back in the box, I don't like it. So, okay. What's in the box? The construction names, obviously, these are rate sensitive. BLDR, this is one that was been given up for dead. They're throwing dirt on its grave, and like Lazarus, it rose from the dead all through the moving averages. And that's what I want to see with Shopify. Drive through the 200 with power. That one looks good to me still actionable. This thing, I believe, is just getting started, but got to deliver better earnings. A KBH, another one, these are rate sensitive. So with the rates expected to go down, with Powell, saying that inflation's, looks like it's going down to what their target, and they don't want to be late to the party. So all that dovish talk is fueling rallies in these names. This is one, small cap, 6 billion stock, and this one's just bounced through the 50. And you can see how the RS line went through the moving averages. That's a very bullish sign there for KB Homes, and just all of them. I could go through, Lennar, same thing. These all look good. DR Horton, that's even actionable at 157. GRBK, little smaller one, 3 billion market cap. Man, it broke out. Just wow, just so fast off the lows. That it really was a dynamic character change with the inflation data last week. And I don't know how long this is going to last or when it's going to slow down. We just ride the wave, ride the wave, and don't think, don't overthink it. This is what's working. So you got to go with it. You got to adapt. You got to be flexible. You got to be open-minded. You got to adjust to the market. So just mentioning a few of these BLD, not BLDR, BLD. This one to me is still actionable. It's a 452 buy point at 465, which is not a lot for a $460 stock. So that one to me still looks good. Big volume coming in. Yeah, so I like BLD. And one more thing. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there, except for I do have one more thing. So in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I think I've covered enough stuff, even though I could go on and on all night with all sorts of different sectors that are doing well, but I'm not going to do that. In honor of the great Steve Jobs, I'm just going to acknowledge one more thing, and that is the regional financial banks. KRE is the exchange traded fund, up 4.5% today. This is the regional banks, man. I'll go through them here in a minute, but you can see 7% this week, and at the end of last week it rallied too. So, and the last couple of weeks it's been up. What was it, 8% last week and 7 something this week. So, to me, if you just look at this, like how long this thing has taken to sell off, and finally, made a move higher, finally consolidate. This is since December of 23, so we're looking at more than half a year here, and now it's finally starting to emerge. Do you think it's just going to stop here? I don't. Just history tells me that this thing's going to go higher. So it might not. Maybe it'll just stop right there. I don't know, but I would think this thing's going to go higher and probably much higher. So you're saying, oh, well, KRE, that's great. Well, what stocks are in KRE? If you want to own the top stocks, because I don't like owning really ETFs. I did say I bought TNA, so I talk out of both sides of my mouth, but I like owning the best stocks in an ETF. So if I'm going to buy, the semiconductor stocks, I'd rather own NVIDIA because that's a leading stock, or the cybersecurity names, I'd rather own CrowdStrike or Zscaler because those are the stronger names. I don't want to own some of the dogs that are in there. But this is First Horizon, it's a southeast bank, and this is a under 10 billion market cap, but you can see the consolidation, cup with handle, and now it's just breaking out. No, I don't own it. No, I didn't put on the ready list. You can't kiss all the babies, and I don't even try. I'm just grateful that we're in a real strong bull market uptrend, just trying to catch, some of the, the meat of the trade, not trying to get all the way down to the nitty gritty of the bone, right? Not trying to be greedy, trying to allow stocks to confirm their move, take a portion of the trade, just, bank some of the move. I don't have to sell at the top. Anyway, WBS is another one. You might want to write these ticker symbols down. Now, this one is still consolidating within a base. It hasn't been extended. You got to watch the earnings dates on these, but, rallied through from the bottom, 39 to 50 here, and the moving average, like I said, is, the relative strength is moving through the moving average. So that looks very bullish to me. SNV is another one of these Southeast banks, a regional bank, 6 billion market cap. Earnings 17th is tomorrow, so we're watching this one. Okay, sometimes when they move like this, they could have strong earnings and just sell off, come back to moving average. So you got to watch for that as well. TFC is another one of these super regional Truist. This is a 56 billion, but you can see it already broke out, ripping higher earnings on the 22nd, which is next Monday. And so you can write these ticker symbols down if you're interested in any of these. OZK. This one's still consolidating within this double bottom base, an awkward looking base. See how that one looks on the weekly? Yeah. Anyway, it's still within a base, so it's not like gone crazy extended. So to me, that's one to watch. COLB. Another one, Columbia Banking System. Columbia's in South Carolina. This says Bank Southwest, though, so I don't really know where this is from, but it doesn't matter. You can see it rallied through the 200, and that's what I'm looking for with some of the other things that I've showed you today. Don't give up on these because they're below their 200, like, Zscaler was hanging out at the 200, right above it. What happened? It just ramped higher. So, yeah, it's just a different style. It's not at a new high or anything. It's consolidating within a base, but it's forming the right side of the base and looking very strong. Regions Financial, super regional, 19 billion market caps. This one's a little bigger. Another double bottom base breaking out to new highs. You could take a swing at that one. It's a little extended, but it looks okay to me. And then HBAN, this is a pretty Huntington Bank shares, 20 billion market cap, consolidating within a base, made a high today. And like I showed you, a lot of these are not stopping and forming handles, are just going right through, with the cup shaped base. So you have to have an open mind to maybe this one doesn't want to make a handle. Maybe that one will show up on our Reddit. There's a couple other ones that I like that are trading well, that small, just big move higher, consolidation, another move higher, so that's a very distinct, easy to read pattern, and it looks fantastic to me. AMAL, another one of these regional banks, broke out of this consolidation, this cup with handle, and just moving higher. That one looks fantastic. And you know what? I better stop there because I have a ton more. And this is a long video, and just recognizing strength here. And there's still some that you could buy. Don't be afraid. I'm going to put a couple financials in oil and gas and try to mix it up because our tech stocks aren't working right now. But anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Thank you for watching.